Hey guys, it's the end of day one for the league for me. I blasted for about 12 hours. I thought I'd make a quick video before I go to bed. I'm going to be giving some pointers on a league start for a Spark, and I'm just going to be talking about how my character is progressing. Alright, so I guess let's just bring up my character's POB right now. We're sitting at 155,000 damage, and we have 92% crit chance. We have 15,000 armor. I believe those are the big takeaways in these stats. So for the Ascendancy, we actually went for the damage nodes first. The reason for this is because Arch Nemesis monsters often have a modifier that's either resistant to elemental damage or resistant specifically to lightning or cold damage. And it's really hard to kill those monsters if we don't go for Inevitable Judgment, which means our crit chance or our critical strikes will ignore enemy resistances. So that's why I'm trying so hard to get crit right to 100% right off the bat. And this crit chance is at 1 power charge. So if we are at 2 power charges, we're at like 96.6, and if we're at 3, which is my current cap, we are at 100% crit chance. So 92% is the low end. And the reason we are always at 1 is because we have this node up here. Haven't invested anything else into power charges except for this. Now, tomorrow I plan on crafting a large cluster, which is why I'm pathing up here. And then I'm going to get a medium cluster with the pierce on the projectiles. Right now I only have 1 pierce. It's from the free gem from Act 5, and it feels really bad with 1 pierce. So I really want to get the second pierce as fast as possible. So let's look at my gear, and I'm going to give some advice on gearing. So for the body armor, I searched for a 5 link that was armor and evasion, armor and energy shield, because, well, we want armor because with mapping, you just want a lot of armor for the physical hits. And the energy shield just makes it very easy to chromatic it into 4 blue, 1 red. I searched specifically for chests that were already rolled, and this one had maximum life and additional physical damage reduction. Those were the only mods I was looking for. Obviously you want life on the chest, and I wanted physical damage reduction because we don't have that much armor yet, and just a little bit of physical damage reduction will go a long way in mitigating damage. So I would advise looking for those 2 rolls, and again, you'll probably find it pretty cheap. I bought it for 3 chaos. It'll probably go down even less. The next important thing is the wand. The way I went about choosing my wand was I enabled profane wands to just show my filter. That's why I just have a bunch here. And I just took a random one that dropped. I used an Essence of Suffering. Essence of Suffering adds cold damage to spells, and this is important because we can't afford a Call of the Brotherhood this early to convert lightning into cold. So we just got some flat cold on the wand, and this is good enough, at least in these low level maps like white and yellow maps, to freeze the enemy. So that's a huge defensive layer. Now, I only had 1 Essence of Suffering, and luckily the wand turned out pretty good. So we have the cold damage to spells, which is guaranteed. We also got cast speed, which is really, really nice. We got projectile speed, which is pretty nice. And then there was an open slot to craft spell damage. So I'm pretty happy with this wand for just a 1 essence craft. So I would assume those essence go for like maybe one chaos. The base is like an elk, so this is like a less than 2 chaos wand, and it's doing just fine. For the helmet, I bought a helmet with increased spark projectile speed, and I just threw on a Dex essence because I needed Dex. Now, as you see, the helmet is pretty terrible, but like the rest of my gear is all pretty bad. Just these are the 3 things I went out of my way to get. Everything else is just self-found. Like there's no there's no life on my boots. The rest isn't that great. So that's my input on the gearing. It's all very budget. Now, as for my first day, I think it went pretty well. I dropped an Exalted Orb. I got pretty lucky. I have 40 Chaos. So I can definitely now, like maybe in the morning when I wake up, I'll look at what's for sale and I'll start upgrading these other bits. But I think these were the 3 most important pieces. Now, I guess we can talk a bit about the Atlas. I chose to just, well, I got the additional essence because it's just so easy to get that. But I really wanted to get the nodes which let maps drop 1 tier higher. So we got some Cuirac stuff. Went up here for the maps. We went down here for the maps. And next I'm going to go up here for the maps. Because I just want to progress through the Atlas as fast as and as smoothly as I can. So we completed all the T1s. Haven't even found all the T2s yet. T3s, still a lot left. So yeah, I didn't progress too far on the Atlas yet. But hopefully we'll get further tomorrow. Now as for my gem setup, Inspiration is pretty good at reducing the cost of the spell, and it's just good damage as well. Spell Echo, you really should be using this, although again it feels really bad with lower cast speed. I'm at 4.6 casts per second. It still doesn't feel great. My movement feels a little bit delayed, but it's getting there. It's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this for day 1. In the last 2 nodes, Critical Strike support. Again, we just, with this league in particular, with those Arch Nemesis, with the resistances, we gotta hit 100% crit strike. That's why we have this, and then I have some crit multi in the last one. No power charges yet. Alright, so I think that wraps up everything I wanted to say for day 1. I hope everyone else's league starts going pretty smooth, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I think I'll tag on a short video of me just running a map so you can see how this build plays so far. Shit, I didn't Maven influence that. It's okay. So I'm actually not using the Orb of Storms setup that I was planning on using in my build video. Or well, I was using it, but I took it out just because I didn't have the 4 blue sockets. And what I'm using instead, and even if I do go back to Orb of Storms, I'll be using this as well, is I just have a tornado with increased duration on it. Feels pretty good. But I'll just throw that out on any like boss type enemies. Like anything I'm cursing with Assassin's Mark, I'll also be hitting with the tornado at the same time. Guys, resist elemental damage. See, he's taking a lot of damage just because we're almost 100% critting on him. I'll go back and do this part, I guess. Sometimes these Arch Nemesis bosses can also have like regeneration, and I'm running a Frost Bomb just in case they're really tanky and they also have the regen. It stops the regen, so you won't ever have a case where you just can't kill a boss because you don't have the DPS. So our boss damage isn't that crazy yet, so there have been a couple cases where I don't think I would have killed the boss if I didn't stop his regen with the Frost Bomb first. I'm pretty happy with this amount of projectile speed on the Spark. In fact, I might end up having less at some point, I'm not too sure. But we really do need more Pierce. So just a quick T6 map. Get out of here.